Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are live for Friday. I took a little time off. I needed to recuperate my brain cells. Marion, good to see you. Let's get the show on the road. But before we do that, we're going to do a very short intro. Okay, and I don't know why that thing was a little glitching. Must be the weather outside. Okay,
It's
ladies and
you're
gentlemen,
yeah, you've been glitching a little bit yourself, so I think that it might be a little connection today.
which is kind of weird because I'm not seeing any on my end because, usually when the internet is bad, then I'll lose the little I
Hmm.
and I'll get the little bars, but I don't see that. But it's really crappy outside. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are picking up in chapter 66. We are crack-a-lacking. This happens to only have 12 verses, so it should be a fun, short one. Chapter 66, The Forbidding. I swear, I love these people who came up with these title names. All right, I'm on the wrong screen. Let me get on this one here. All right, which one is it? All right. Oh, I see. All right. I gotta blow this bad boy up. Keep these poor old eyes. Okay, Allah corrects Muhammad concerning his forbidding himself from further sexual relationships with Mary, the Coptic woman, with whom he committed adultery. O you prophet, why do you forbid what Allah has made lawful to you, seeking to please your wives? And Allah is forgiving, merciful. Now, my question would be, how would we even know what this is talking about? Do you get the idea that this is because Muhammad put his little pecker into somebody else that wasn't his wife?
How do you forbid? Yeah, this has to do with him raping somebody, is what it sounds like, or having sexual relations with someone he wasn't supposed to. He gets
Right, but
caught.
but I'm saying, how would you know just from this one verse? Because all it says is, "Why do you forbid what Allah has made lawful to you?" But we don't know what Allah has made lawful.
All we know that is that this is actually talking about sexual relationships.
Right. But even that, well, I guess you could. Well, it's okay. It's we can kind of get the idea that he did something that he shouldn't have, or he promised something that he shouldn't have to please his wife. So apparently his wives were not very happy. But we wouldn't know
Well,
that.
because it says plural, you're talking. I mean, if you didn't have any outside knowledge of who Muhammad was and what this was about,
Right,
you would be thinking, you probably wouldn't be thinking sex at
right.
this point. But because Allah is a pervert, actually have to start with the concept of sex. If you hadn't read the Quran up to this point and didn't know that Allah was a pervert, I get that you wouldn't know. But we have been reading 65 chapters of Allah as a pervert, and I mean the peeping tom, everything that he does is just perverted. I'm sorry,
Right. All
it's
right, let's go to
on
verse.
him. He's
Yeah.
the good example of how to be a pervert. Sorry about that,
All
Allah.
right.
You just are.
Okay, let me see. Anybody in the back? No. All right, verse 2. Indeed, Allah has allowed you to be released from your oath. So clearly, Allah says you can break your oath. So if you make an oath, then it's okay. Allah forgives you if you break it. Okay, that's not a sign of a God. A God does not approve of you breaking your oaths. And Allah is your protector, and He is the knowing and the wise. Now, here's a question for Muslims: if Allah is Muhammad's protector, why is it Muhammad used to wear two body armors? Doesn't strike me as somebody who's very confident in his protector. That he
Well, and that's an interesting part because even when wore those two body armors, he still got hit by an arrow.
yeah. All right, number
Doesn't I mean, yeah, his God isn't very strong.
All right, number 3. And when the prophet told a recent occurrence privately to some of his wives. Now, Osama says that there's a grammatical error. It really should have been singular because it was his wife Hafsa, and here it's wives. She then told others. Okay, so
Oh, so you see it?
yeah,
Wives, it should be singular.
yes,
She.
because this is
Okay.
because this is referring to Hafsa.
So this is the other example of the writer using Arabic as a second language. I
Right.
talked with Lloyd De Jong, and he actually gave me a name of who he thinks may be the original author,
Cool.
which I'm going to be talking about down the road. But holy cow.
He
Yeah,
was
and that guy does have Arabic as a second, third, or fourth language.
he was supposed to be, well, me and him a while back, we were supposed to coordinate him coming onto the show because the time zone is another crappy thing. I also have problems with Bob the Builder from
Yeah,
UK
that's
because
an issue.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's out
So
in Poland, so
yeah, so
yeah.
here we have an issue. It's talking about she, meaning singular, which is Hafsa, and then it's talking about that he talked to his wives. No, he only talked to Hafsa. She told others,
Mary, I think it is Mary.
but
Or
that's
is
also a problem because she didn't tell others. She told Aisha.
hmm.
So I should have just
Well,
said,
Mary would count. Aisha would count as other singular. Yeah,
yeah.
but that singular plural issue is something we see quite often with people with this, trying to use a second language. It's an error that's not unusual, unfortunately.
She told others about it. And number three basically is saying that she told Aisha about Muhammad having sex with Mary the Copt in Hafsa's bed. And Allah informed him of her actions. Now, why would it be her action? She only told one person.
That's
Oh,
that
okay. Well,
singular plural issue. That's what I'm getting at.
yeah, but wait a minute. But that's not in the Arabic. So it basically just says, and Allah informed him. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
the actions would be wrong. Okay, he made known part of it and avoided other parts. Okay, so Allah avoided other parts. So when he
So what's in?
informed,
I mean, Why did he not tell the whole story? This is kind of well, Allah doesn't know the whole story. Is that could it be?
and is this even Allah speaking here, or is this Muhammad? Because again, it would make no sense for God to say, I made known a part of it, but I avoided the other parts. Like, is Allah embarrassed or something? Okay, so this is really Muhammad here. See, this is confusing. He made known part of it and avoided other parts. So when he informed her of it, she said, "Who informed you of this?" Huh? Okay. I'm really confused now. He said, "The knower, the aware, informed me." What the hell?
So somebody knew. I mean, this isn't even saying that Allah is in this information, and that's kind of odd. I mean, Muhammad was known for having a spy network. If we're talking about Muhammad, so that's something to think about. He was well known for that, according to the seerahs. But I mean, why wouldn't I mean? Yeah, it's problematic here because look at if Allah is informing. I'm just going to go back here to verse 3. If Allah is informing him of her actions, and then he makes known part of it and avoids other parts, why would Muhammad know this? And why would he be told that? And that doesn't make any sense. So this has to be Muhammad commenting, but the fact that implies that Muhammad has equal knowledge with Allah, which makes him a partner, again, shirk with Allah.
This gets even more confusing because we don't know who's talking here. Okay, this must be Muhammad. How it's Muhammad? No clue. If you repent, okay, what is number 4? Number
This
4,
has to be Allah because
the
this
wife.
has to be Muhammad because it doesn't make sense for him to Allah to say if you repent.
Well, then Allah's got a problem because Allah's saying that He made known part of it and avoided other parts.
Yeah.
So apparently Allah is informing Muhammad. So
But we
when He
don't. I mean,
informed
we
her,
don't know it's Muhammad because we can't. There's no mention of Muhammad.
yeah, but
We
see,
just know that it's somebody.
so He made known. So Allah talked to one of His wives or His wives, because if you read further down, because He said, so when He informed her of it, she said, "Who informed you of this?" He said, "The knower, the aware, informed me." We have no clue who's talking or what this is all about. If you repent to Allah, meaning the wives, so indeed your hearts are inclined. And if you bend together against him, I mean, this is not even Muhammad's talking. Who's talking here? And if you bend together against him, so surely Allah is his friend, and Jibreel, and all the good believers, and the angels after this are his backers. Seriously, you want me to believe that Muhammad is so important that Allah
But
is
he
going to
doesn't
take
get
his side?
mentioned.
I'm sorry?
Muhammad's not important here because his name never gets mentioned,
Yeah. But here's
and
the
that's what
funny
it comes
thing.
down to. If you
We are
repent
to
to
believe.
Allah, you're indeed your hearts are inclined, and if you bend together against him, against who?
Against Muhammad.
But how do we know that? Because
We
again, we
don't.
don't know because there's no name
We
mentioned.
don't.
That makes Muhammad not worthy of being mentioned because
Well,
this him is so generic.
yeah. So then it's so indeed okay. If you've been together against them, so surely Allah is his friend and Jibreel, and so you want me to believe that Allah, the Almighty God, Jibreel, which I don't know what Jibreel is in Islam. We know he's an archangel in the Bible, and all the good believers and the angels. Now notice that Jibreel is separate than the angel. So when they say that Jibreel is an angel, that's BS. Because why is he being excluded from the angels?
Hey, just to let you know, Kufar, your mic's messing up. It's cracking. I mean, I've been listening to it. I was wondering if other people were hearing it, but they're also commenting on your mic cracking.
Yeah, it's my speaker 78. Maybe I need to reduce it. Okay, all right. Let me try something. Let me use my little, where is it? Let me use my good mic. Unplug that.
Thank you, Dragon, because I was and Marion, I was wondering if it was me. It's just the way I was hearing it. Okay.
Oh, that's weird. All right, let me put that here.
Oh, the joy of live doing things live.
Put that there. Turn that on. All right, now I gotta go to the setup and change settings. Audio.
So we've been talking about, can we really tell if things are? I mean, this is the thing I say. If there is a Muhammad, he's unimportant to Islam, and there's you can't. People say you can't say that. He's only mentioned 4 times in the Quran, the entire Quran. 4 times that name is mentioned. That's it. If he was important, don't you think they would mention him more than 4 times? You can look at how many times the name of Jesus is mentioned in the New Testament. You can look at how many times the name Abraham is mentioned. You can look at how many times the name Isaiah is mentioned in the book. I mean, in each individual book in the Bible, there are certain names that get stated a whole lot. And that tells you, I mean, when something is repeated, it's important. Okay, Allah's name appears pretty good. So we know that that is the God of Islam. All right, we got that. But why is it so unimportant what Muhammad's name is? And that is something we're seeing here. I mean, oh, you prophet. Why do you forbid? We can't tell that this is about Muhammad. It could be about a prophet. It could be about any prophet. But there's nothing here telling us that that is Muhammad. We can
Okay, can you hear
guess
me?
at it. Yeah. Yes, we can.
Is it better?
It could be you could push it up a little bit, but it's clear.
Okay, how about now?
That's good.
Excuse me. Well, Moses is in the Quran 145 times, and I think 65 or 75 Abraham. So, but like I was saying, I just find it funny that God is concerned, the angels are concerned, Jabril is concerned, and all the believers are concerned about Muhammad's uh, family affairs.
His I mean, this is and knowing this is about sex because Allah likes sex. He's a like I said, he's a pervert. It says that Allah truly is a peeping tom because he's concerned about this guy named Mose. I mean, if that's who we're talking about, but we can't tell because there's no name here. That he's concerned about his sex life. I
But
mean, really. I'm sorry. They just
okay, let's see. Allah promises to replace bad wives with better wives and indicates, excuse me, oh man, that Muhammad will be justified in divorcing his wives. Now, this verse actually comes from Umar and not Allah. If you read the Hadiths, Umar says that Allah agreed with me in three things. One was the Qibla change, one was the veiling, and the other one was this. So basically, 5 says, perhaps his Lord, again,
that's
perhaps,
the God of perhaps is back again.
if he divorces you, okay, now this is a problem. Perhaps his Lord, if he divorces you, he will give him other wives better than you in exchange. Muslims, believers, obedient, penitent, servants, fasting, previously married and virgins. Whoa, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Does
Am I
this
to
make any
believe? No.
sense?
Okay,
Okay. Who's
previously
here?
married.
Who are we talking about?
Okay, so
We're
he's not going to
losing
marry
you.
people. You're
We're
losing
losing
me?
you. We're not hearing you clearly. Your mic is going out.
Okay, I honestly don't know what's going on with this thing today.
All right. Sorry.
Is it better? Is it worse?
It's clear. It's clear. It's just every once in a while it's going out now. Yeah.
Okay,
Perhaps.
I don't have
So,
any problems with the internet, so I don't know. I'm
yeah.
on my new computer.
Okay. Perhaps his Lord, if he divorces you. I mean, we don't know who's this Lord.
Well, that would be Allah.
So if Allah divorces you,
That's what I was thinking.
so Allah has wives,
Or they
or is
call
he?
it Muhammad Lords. Now, Allah is going to marry him to previously married women and virgins.
That's
Okay.
really.
Yeah.
I mean, so he's talking about these prepubescent girls that got married that they hadn't had sex with yet. That he's gonna. Yeah.
And my question is, if you were previously married, what are the odds that you're going to be a virgin?
It's not going to happen very often, that's for sure.
Yeah. I don't know of any.
All I
mean,
can
that's
think of is
like,
he's talking about prepubescent girls because
yeah,
I was a pervert.
but even those had sex according to 65:4.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on to 6 because that didn't make any sense. So again, Allah is concerned about Momo's behavior between
In
him and his
bed.
wives.
Yeah.
O you who have believed, save yourselves and your families from a fire whose fuel is the people and the stones.
Really? Have you ever heard of a fire that is fueled by people? I mean, you'll see something like that when bodies are, you have a genocide and they're trying to get rid of the bodies, and yeah, they'll have a fire there, but they can't just set fire to the bodies. It has to be, there has to be an external source. So this, Allah doesn't know that,
Yeah, I think
and the
the people.
stones doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Well, maybe the stones he means
Maybe
like
they're
charcoal.
coals.
Yeah, like coals, charcoal. Now here's a funny one. Over it, so over over what?
The fire, I would
I
guess.
guess the okay over over it are thick, harsh, strong angels because they've been lifting weights. They do not disobey Allah in what He has commanded them, and they do what they are commanded. Okay. O you who became infidels, do not make excuses today. Surely you will be rewarded according to what you were doing. O you who have believed, repent to Allah with true repenting. Perhaps your Lord will atone for your evils and will admit you into the gardens. Below them the rivers flow.
He never seems to be able to say gardens without saying below
Yeah.
them the rivers flow.
A day Allah does not shame the prophet. So wait a minute. He shamed the prophets before? Okay. A day Allah does not shame the prophet and those who
So
believed with
wait a
him.
minute. What is the purpose of prophets if they have to have a day where Allah doesn't shame the prophet? All right, and this is singular.
Right.
So if this prophet that's mentioned in this chapter is shamed every day, that's kind of the implication here. The prophet
Yeah.
that's mentioned here is a shame to Allah. Why would you have a prophet that's a shame to you? I
You got a
mean,
good point there. Got a good point there. So apparently, just about every day, Allah is shaming this prophet and the people who believed with him.
oh, you stupid idiots! Why are you following this guy? Isn't that what this is saying? You stupid idiots should not be following this guy. Oh my gosh, yeah, and it's right here in the Quran. It says it right there. There's a day, a singular day that Allah doesn't shame the prophet. Oh, wait a minute. So every day that he gets shamed, and the idiots who follow him, ooh, doesn't sound like a guy worth following. He only has one
No,
day out of his life that he's not being shamed.
man, that's got to be a rough life. All right,
I don't think I want that.
their light runs between their hands and in their right hands. Makes no sense. They will say, "Our Lord, perfect our lights and forgive us. Surely you have might over all things."
So what are these lights?
I don't have a clue.
I mean, all I can think of is lamps, but why would you want your lamps perfected? I mean, there's a light that runs between their hands and is in their right hands. That it's very. I don't think Allah knows the answer to this one. That's the sad part.
Oh, okay, here we go again. Muhammad corrupts the accounts of Noah, Lot, and Pharaoh. Wow. And all
Okay,
in
I think you've skipped
all in
number
two
9.
verses?
Well, go back up. You skipped Allah commanded.
Oh, I'm sorry. Allah commanded Muhammad to perform a harsh jihad against the infidels and the hypocrites. Oh, you
Ooh.
prophet, perform a jihad against the infidels and hypocrites and be harsh against them, and hell will be their abode, and evil is the final place. Okay. Now, why this is in here, I have no clue because,
It kind of like an interruption. I mean, this
yeah,
is like you had
it
something. There
interrupted.
was like it was nonsensical. It really didn't have any flow. And now we break in and we have a public service announcement. Perform jihad against the infidels and hypocrites. That's what it's like. It looks like a public service announcement.
I mean, we were just reading about Muhammad and his wives and how Allah is going to, you know, divorce them or something. Okay, now I can go to Muhammad corrupts the accounts of Noah, Lot, and Pharaoh. He makes the assertion that the wives of Noah. Oh, wait a minute. Noah had wives? Okay, that the wives of Noah and Lot, okay, were infidels while Pharaoh's wife was a believer. Allah set forth an example to those who became infidels. The woman, the wife of Noah, and the woman, the wife of Lot. Okay, they were under two of our good servants. Really? What does that mean? They were under.
Well, in Allah's perspective, you got to think perversion. So,
I'm thinking. I'm
ugh.
thinking. So they were under the two of our good servants, but they betrayed them. So they did not. So they did not benefit them. So they what? So they did not benefit them. What does that mean?
Okay, read the
Against.
rest of that sentence.
So they did not benefit them anything against Allah.
Okay, wait, right there. Okay, they were two. They betrayed Noah and Lot, but they didn't do anything against Allah. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah, but that whole so they did not benefit. So they did not benefit them. What kind of sentence is that?
Well, I can't figure out what that's supposed to mean. Anything against Allah. I think you have to go. They did not benefit them anything against Allah. So they didn't do anything against Allah. No matter what, they betrayed. They have Noah's wife and Lot's wife betraying them, but they didn't do anything against Allah. Really, sounds like Lot's wife wasn't liked by Allah, is the way you read it, because he held her behind. He blames things on her.
Now here's the funny part. According to Islam, Noah's wife and Lot's wife were adulterous.
Hmm.
Now they have a problem with King David committing adultery, but apparently it's okay for the prophet's wives to commit adultery. That's okay. Okay, so then Allah and it was said, "Enter the fire with those who are entering." Okay, and Allah set forth an example to those who believed. Pharaoh's woman wife, when she
Okay, wait a
said,
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, we were talking about Noah. We were talking about Lot. How did we get to talking about Pharaoh?
"I have no clue." Do you know the time period between between Noah and well, actually between Noah and then Lot would be with Abraham. So
Yeah.
hmm, there's at
Yeah,
least
we're going. When we get to Pharaoh, we're talking about Moses. So this is really problematic.
let me see. Lot would have been somewhere around 2000 BC. Moses somewhere around 1500 BC. So you're talking about 500, 500 years apart.
Yeah, and they're talking about him in the same
Yeah,
sentence. You got Lot. Yeah, it's. I mean, within two verses, it's
yeah.
just problematic.
Boy, Allah's got no concept of time.
I keep
So
telling you, he's chronologically impaired.
so Allah set forth the example to those who believe. Pharaoh's wife, when she said, "My Lord, build me a house with you in the garden and deliver me from Pharaoh and his work and deliver me from the unjust people." So Pharaoh's wife is asking Allah to build her a house with him. So she wants to live with Allah in the same house. Hmm. All right. She wants to get down with the
Allah
Almighty.
set forth an example to those who believe. Allah set forth an example to those who believe. Pharaoh's woman said when she said, "My Lord, build." Okay, so this is Pharaoh's wife. My
Mhm.
Lord, build me a house with you in the garden and deliver me. That doesn't make sense.
No.
Pharaoh's woman, when she said, "My Lord, build me a house with you in the garden and deliver me from Pharaoh and his work and deliver me from." This doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No.
Because why would you? This is just gobbledygook. What do I expect from the Quran? It doesn't make any sense. It's chronologically impaired, and the author probably had TBI. At least Allah does.
All right. Now here's a good verse here. Allah's spirit impregnated the Virgin Mary. Muhammad again confuses Maryam, the daughter of Imran, who was the sister of Moses and Aaron, with Mary, the mother of Jesus. Notice the name of Mary's father is Heli, not Imran. See Luke chapter 3, verse 23. And Mary, the daughter of Imran, who guarded her sexual parts, so we breathed into it, her vagina, from our spirit. And she believed in the words of her Lord and his books, and she was among the obedient.
So this is really a perverted take on the concept. So you can actually see the concept this is about is the Annunciation, where you'll hear there's actually a lot of paintings done on this, where Gabriel is telling Mary that she's going to give birth to the Savior, and you'll see pictures where the words touch her ears, and the second they touches her ears, she becomes pregnant because she believes the second she hears, and this is a real perversion. Of course, Allah the pervert has to breathe into her private parts. Sad.
Yeah, and that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the perversion of this chapter. That we don't know what the heck we're talking about. And let's see, what's the name of this one? The Kingdom. Okay, hey. Look at that. Now this one's double in verses as the other one. Look at it, 631. So only took us half an hour to do 12 verses. Okay, verse 1. All right. Okay, number 1 is stages. Okay. Blessed is he in whose hand is the kingdom. In whose hand? Wow. He's got a big hand. And he has might over all things. Who created the death and the life to test you? Which of you will do better works? And he is the dear, the forgiving, who has created seven. Whoa, okay, seven. Who has created 7 stages of heaven? You cannot.
Wait. Are these layers or are these stages? I mean, we've had layers before, or 7 heavens.
Well, this one's Osama says stages, non-Arabic word of Akkadian origin. Akkadian origin.
Yeah. So this is again proof that the person did not know Arabic well. But if you're talking about stages, then you have a progression of heaven.
Right.
That's
problematic because I thought Allah just said the word be and it was. Or be and it will be, meaning in the future.
For Allah, he just keeps displaying he doesn't know. But here's another problem. Who created the death and life? So Allah creates death and life to test us. Who's going to compete? And he expects us to be competitive, to do better against each other. It sounds like we're his entertainment, the way this is read.
And they kind of got it reversed. It should be Allah created life and death.
Mm-hmm.
Because first you got to be born before you can die.
Well, he places this places that priority on death.
Yes.
That's what it does.
So Allah's going to kill you to test you, and then he's going to resurrect you. Okay, so he created the heaven. Like. So he created the heavens in 7 stages, or he created the 7 stages of heavens. You cannot see in the creation of the merciful any disorder. Read the Quran. So keep looking.
If you read the Quran, are you going to say there's a lot of disorder? Just read this chapter. Read the last chapter. Read any chapter.
Can you see any flaw? Oh man, can I see flaw? I see flaws. Then return your eyes twice. Return my eyes twice where? Your sight will return to you humiliated and regretful.
Why would you be humiliated because the Quran is a mess?
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
if that's what we don't even know what they're talking about. Can you see any flaw? Well, we've told you we've seen flaws. Okay, so if we're talking about the Quran, we know there's a lot of flaws. We don't have any clue what they're talking about. Labor and build the heavens because that incorporates the pagan myth of lifting the sky. Well, Andrew, you're 100% right. Poor Allah is into Gnosticism. That's what this number 7 comes from. It's the mystic, it has to do with Gnosticism. Allah is married to Gnosticism. And you can't separate Islam from Gnosticism. It's
Well,
a scary, scary truth.
when you look at the other stories, Jesus in the cradle, Jesus in the clay birds, those are all Gnostic stories from
Yes.
Gnostic gospel. So, in that area, there would have been a lot of that, going around in the upper part of Arabia, where most of us is starting to believe that that's where this whole thing took place, and not in Mecca. All right, now this gets fun. Indeed, we are.
All right, that
Excuse me.
intro.
Indeed,
Stars.
yeah. Indeed, we adorned the heaven, now one heaven of the world with lamps, stars, and made them to be missiles for the Satans. Notice that Islam's got a lot of Satans, whereas we only have one Satan. We got a lot of demons, but we only got one Satan. But Allah has lots of Satans, which might explain, because I think there is a hadith where Satan is kind of like a hermaphrodite. He's
So the
got
stars
he's got a
are missiles.
Yeah. So Satan's got a penis on one thigh and he's got a vagina in the other thigh, and he rubs them together and he makes little shaitans.
I
So
mean, what I think they're
yeah. Okay.
it's
So yeah.
asexual
So
reproduction for that way.
mhm.
Yeah.
And made them to be missiles for the Satans, and we prepared for them the torment of the blaze. So I don't think Allah knows how big stars are. I mean, if you think that the sun is big, the sun is a little puny compared to the other stars that we have in the other solar systems. All right, 6. And to those who became infidels in their Lord, the torment of hell and evil is the final place. When they will be thrown into it, they will hear its inhaling as it boils over. Hell inhales? Hmm. It
Well,
will.
because when they were thrown into it, we don't know what they're being thrown into, except we're talking about hell, right?
Yeah.
They will hear its inhaling. So this is again, I think we saw another verse a little ways back where hell breathes. Now, something boils over. How does it breathe while it's boiling over? I mean,
Yeah.
we have serious issues here with. I mean, yeah, you don't expect.
who's inhaling? Hell or the people? And how do you
No,
inhale?
only one I've heard. That has to do with inhaling. Is I keep thinking of Clinton saying, "No, I didn't. I didn't
I
inhale."
did not
But
inhale.
yeah, that's all I can think of when I hear that. But when they will be thrown into it, they will. I mean, apparently hell breathes,
Yes.
but why would it boil over? I mean,
As
this
it
is
boils, maybe because of the heat. I mean, is hell boiling water? But look at 8. It will almost tear from the rage. What is going to tear?
is that
Hell?
tear or cheer? That's something we'll have to ask.
That's a good one. I mean, I would think it's a tear, not a tear. But
Hmm.
it doesn't make sense either way. What
Yeah.
rage? Whose
Well,
rage?
rage. I mean, if it would split in part from rage, that would
Right.
make sense. If it's tear. I'm gonna have to ask Usama that one.
Okay, so
Um,
it's going to tear from the rage every time a group will be thrown into it. Its keepers will ask them, "Had not a warner come to you?" They said, "Yes, indeed, a warner came to us." So we deny it.
Wait a
And
minute.
we,
Wait a minute. We got a big problem here. Okay, these are people in hell.
Yeah.
And
So I think
so had not a warner come to you and they said, and again, they're saying he's asking people. I mean, didn't a warner come to you while they're in hell?
yeah, I guess he's questioning
And
them,
Allah
saying
yeah.
kind of like the reason that you're in hell is because you had a warner, he came to you, and they're saying that they denied, and we said Allah did not send down anything. Okay, they said, okay, so this is the people answering the keepers. So they said, yes, indeed, a warner came to us, so we denied. And we said, who's we? And we said, Allah did not send down anything, that you are but in a big error. Does that make sense to you?
Well, the problem with the we there is problematic. I mean that's a big error. I don't think people will catch that, but so we. I mean,
I
this is
mean, you got the keepers asking the people that have just been thrown into hell, did a warning come to you? They responded, yes, a warning came to us, but we denied. And then it jumps to, and we said, who's we? I mean, it can't be Allah because it would make no sense for Allah to say, and we said that Allah did not send down anything.
they said. Yes, a warner came to us.
Oh,
So
okay. So we
so
in
they
here,
okay. That's what they. So they are the people talking, and they're saying, yes, the warner came to us, and we denied them, and
we is
they
the
said Allah
keepers.
didn't
We
send
is the
anything
keepers.
down.
Yeah. So we goes back to the keepers.
Okay,
I mean, this is just
that
bad.
you are but in.
A big error.
So Allah didn't send anything down, so they're blaming it on Allah. Is the reason they're in heaven because Allah didn't give any signs. Oh,
But
gee.
does
Does that
okay?
sound like any prophets from the Bible?
But what
And that
does
would be a big no.
but what does we did not send anything down?
There's
Or
no
I should
miracle.
say, Allah did not send anything down. Have to do with a warner being sent to them. What does that even mean?
Well, okay, so if we're going on the fact, we're going on trying to base this that the warners are prophets. He's saying that this little God Allah is sending out people to warn people, but they have no way of being believed because these people are going around saying, believe me. They have no power. They have nothing. They're laughed at because these people are just going around saying things and they don't have any evidence that they are who they have no evidence that Allah is real because their little prophets can't do anything because there's no Allah is so incompetent.
I mean, this is just. Okay, so verse 10. And they said, if we were listening or reasoning, we were not among the companions of the blaze.
Just to let you know, we're hearing that crackling again.
I don't know
On the
what that
mic.
crackling is. I have no clue.
Yeah. Right. If we were listening or reasoning, we were not among the. If we were listening or reasoning, we were not among. Wait a minute. He's talking to people in hell, and they're saying if we were listening or reasoning, we were not among them. Wait a minute. They're already there. So this doesn't make any sense.
Well, they're talking about if they had listened and reasoned back then they wouldn't be among the companions of the
But the problem
blaze.
is we got present tense. We were.
Yeah.
If we were listening or okay, it's past tense. If we were listening or reasoning, we were not among the.
It would
It
say
doesn't
we
make any sense.
would not be. We would
It
not
should be
be.
we would not be among them.
Right. But
If we had listened, but they did. It doesn't work. It's just if you fix it, then it makes sense. But if you don't and you leave it as it is, it's just evidence that this is done by somebody who doesn't know Arabic. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so then we move on to 11. So they confessed their sin. Wow, they only had one sin.
Now, we're not talking about the translator. Please understand, we're not talking about the translator. We're talking about Allah's book as a whole. The person who wrote this book, originally. The person who wrote the Quran originally, you had Arabic as a second or third language. And this is, I mean, we've seen this by comparing it to word for word and other Qurans that we pulled up over the times. It's that bad. It is really that bad.
Now, 11 is kind of confusing. So they confess their sin. So they only had one sin.
Mm-hmm.
So grind out the companions of the blaze. What does that even mean? Does that mean they left?
Sounds like they got out of hell.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It sounds like they got out of hell by confessing their sin. Just one sin.
Their one sin.
Right. Surely those who fear their Lord. Now, but here's the funny thing. So you get a chance to confess your sin in hell to get out. Yeah, that's cool. Surely those who fear their Lord in secret will have forgiveness in a big way. So wait a minute. You have to fear Allah in secret, not openly. Okay. And you hide your speech or you reveal it. That doesn't make any sense.
Wait a minute. So you confess your sin, you get out of the hell. Surely those who fear the Lord in secret will have forgiveness.
In a big way.
Okay, don't forget the wage. But so if you were in hell, because we're only talking about those people in hell right now. If you were in hell and you secretly feared Allah, you can get out. Is the only way I can think about this. What this is actually saying. And if you hide your speech or reveal it, surely he knows. I don't think it with the word "or." I don't. This is where I don't think Allah understands logic. It's all supposed to be Allah's speech, and if Allah doesn't know how, Allah knows Arabic as a second language according to that belief that this is all Allah's speech.
Okay, so surely he knows what is in the chests.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, 14. Does he who created not know? But wait a minute, you just said that he knows. So why are you going to ask?
Well, Allah doesn't know a lot. That's what we keep discovering. Allah is clueless, and that's a sad, sorry truth. I mean, it says here he knows what's in the chest. We don't know what he's speaking to directly. Does he who created not know is the next question. And I guess that would be, I mean, that's, he knows, does he create not know? I guess that would be sarcasm.
I guess maybe Allah is sarcastic. And he is the kind, the aware. All right, 15. All right, let me just, okay. He is who made the earth subservient to you. So walk in its manakab, which is a word without meaning. Muslims claim that it means mountains, edges, or waves. They don't even know what the hell it means.
Wait. What are we talking about? Isn't there a claim that this book is clear over and over again?
It's detailed. Every verse explains itself, but apparently not.
Okay, so what is walk in it? Okay, it's so detailed and so clear. Someone please explain the monokab here, because if there's no translation of this word, Allah isn't clear. Oh, but if Allah isn't clear, that means his Quran is crap. Oh, yeah, because his book keeps claiming that it's clear. Clear as mud.
What verse was that? 67 what?
That's 15.
Let's see what the translators say.
Monokab, eat from his provision, and to him the resurrection. Walk in its.
He is the one who made for you the earth's subservient. So walk in the paths thereof and eat of his provision, and to him is the resurrection. So here they're saying it means paths. Some say regions. Nobody really says mountains that I can see. regions, spacious sides. Yeah, tracks. Nobody seems to know what the hell it means. And eat from his provisions, and to him the resurrection. Do you feel secured that who is in heaven, that he will not sink you in the earth? So then it shakes. Somebody's got an echo. Is that you, Paul?
No, it's not an echo. I'm not hearing any echo.
Testing. I'm hearing an
We're
echo.
we're hearing you break up a lot. That's all.
And I'm hearing an echo in the background.
Is
Wow.
anyone hearing an echo?
And I have echo cancellation.
Hmm.
All right, let me go to this mic here.
Okay, I don't know. Is anyone here? If you could comment in the comments, because I'm not hearing any echo.
It's on my end. Okay, now it's gone.
All right.
One of those days. All right. Do you feel secure? No, I still hear. Do you feel secure that who is in the heaven, that he will not sink you into the earth? So then it shakes. Or do you feel secure that he who is in the heaven will not send you on a violent wind? So you will know, then how is my warning? This makes no sense.
Okay, we got this. Or do you feel twice?
Yeah.
I mean, or do you
And
feel secure who's in the heaven that he will not sink you in the earth? Do you feel secure that he who is in the heaven will not send a violent? Again, this is this ridiculous repetition. So you will know how is my warning. We haven't even heard of a warning. Was there any warning here?
I,
I mean,
I guess the sinking into the earth and the tornado
earth
coming to get
shaking.
you, I guess.
Sounds like a the earth shaking.
But I
This
thought he
doesn't.
put mountains on the earth so he wouldn't shake.
Mm,
I guess he ain't doing a good job. All right, 18. And indeed,
stabilizers, right?
yeah, and in stabilizers. And indeed, those before them denied. So how was my repudiation? How would I know what happened in the past? He keeps asking people about stuff that happened before they were even born, and he expects them to answer them. I don't know. Or
That's because when you're chronologically impaired, you can't grasp those things.
yeah,
This
or
is another statement that Allah can't know things in chronological order.
or have they not seen the birds above them spreading and folding? Okay, spreading and folding what? Now Osama put their wings, but that's not in the Arabic. Okay. No one can catch them except the merciful Allah. You didn't hear of shotguns, did you? Surely he sees everything. Okay. Or who are those troops that will give you victory without the merciful? Again, this makes no sense. That the infidels are but in pride.
So, okay, you said it doesn't make sense. I agree with you 100%. We've been talking about we started talking about something like an earthquake. Then we started talking about something close to a bad, like a windstorm at the very, could be a tornado, a hurricane, whatever. And something about somebody's repudiation. And now we're talking about birds spreading and folding something. And then we get to troops. How does this? I mean, there's no flow here. This is so nonsensical. This is
You need to go
why
to
we keep saying you couldn't sell this as a book to any publisher
you need to
because
go
it
to chapter.
doesn't make any sense. This is I mean, this is a good translation, believe it or not. That's the sad, sorry truth. This Arabic is junk. I mean, if this is the best that they can put together, the question about kind of monkey, if you put a monkey in a room and you threw up enough letters or whatever, and they put them all together, you get a novel type thing. Well, I think the monkey would do a better job. I'm sorry.
You know, the problem is, Paul, you didn't read chapter 99 to figure out what it's saying in chapter 67. Okay, so let's go to 21. Or who is the one who will provide for you if he withholds his provisions? Yet they persist in pride and aversion. Is the one who walks groveling on his face more guided than the one who goes upright in a straight way?
Well, it depends on if Allah is actually deciding to lead you, is what it's saying. Allah leads who he wants to. He doesn't really care. If you're groveling on your face, more guided. I mean, the concept here is Allah doesn't guide anyone he doesn't want to guide. So, and you can't tell from what we're seeing, you can't really tell because you can't trust Allah because he even takes the lives of those who do serve him. So, I mean, and he doesn't give. It's just a mess. I'm sorry. It's just a mess.
23. Say, he is who has fashioned you and made you the hearing and the sight and the hearts. Little thanks you give. It is he who fashioned you, okay, and made
That makes
you
any
the
sense to
hearing.
you?
What
He
the hell does
fashioned
that
you
mean? It
and
made you the hearing. Shouldn't it be and gave you the hearing and the sight?
gave you the ability to hear and see. Again, this is Arabic as a second language. It's just badly said.
Say, he is who has multiplied you on the earth, and to him you will be gathered. And
He
they will
is who
say,
has multiplied.
so, so is Allah involved in the sexual activities of the people? Because what do you mean? He is who has multiplied you. No, he didn't multiply you. People started having sex and having babies. And they will say, when is this promise? If you were truthful, what promise?
We don't even know what the promise was.
I have no idea.
I mean, why would we say when is the promise if we don't know what the promise is?
Yeah, I mean, something. Maybe the promise is the gardens and with the rivers underneath the gardens.
This is
Say,
is it going to get any worse? Oh my gosh.
Say, surely the knowledge is only with Allah, and surely I am only a plain warner. So when the faces of those who became infidels saw it nearby, saw what nearby? Hell.
I have no idea.
They became sorrowful, and
Whatever it was sad.
Yes, and it was said, this is for what you were calling. What?
Okay, wait a minute. Who's calling?
What you were calling? I have no clue.
So when the faces of those who became infidels saw it nearby, they became sorrowful. And it was said, this is what you were calling. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, if you think that doesn't make any sense, wait till you see 28. Say, have you seen if Allah destroys me and those with me, or has mercy on us? So who will protect the infidels from a painful torment? Does that make sense to you?
You've seen if Allah destroys so you can't start this way. Have you seen if Allah destroys me and those who have so if Allah destroys me and those who have mercy, let's say on you and me, we're picking on you and me, Dr. Kaffer. If Allah destroys us, who will protect the infidels from a painful torment? It's not you can't see that. It's just not only bad English, it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently 29 says, say he is the merciful. We have believed in him and we depended on him, so you will know who is in obvious error.
Allah is an obvious error because this book is a mess.
say, have you seen that your water has gone away? So who will give you spring water? Ooh, they got spring water in the desert?
Well, the fact that they would know what spring water is another problem if you're living in the desert.
Yeah. No springs in the desert that I'm aware of. But, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this lovely, lovely chapter. Let's see what the next one brings us. And,
pen.
oh, this is a good one. This is the pen.
Oh, wait. The first, I want you to tell us what that first word. I want you to pronounce that first word.
Oh, man, that's a tough one. Let me go over here. Let me prepare that. Let me go over here. Gotta go. Ooh,
We just
there's
got to
no.
see how clear Allah's word is, because it's supposed to be clear that everybody can understand it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, chapter 68, the pen. N. Okay, N, an Arabic letter without meaning. Okay, all right.
None.
I swear by the pen and what they write. Now, why is Allah? Who's swearing here? Allah or Muhammad?
So if Allah is swearing by what others write, we have a problem, because Allah doing that would give credence that he is less
Then his creator.
than what is written.
Okay, now here's also another problem. I swear by the pen, which is singular, and what they write. Who's they?
Because then you're talking about more than Muhammad. And remember, who I think that they are, since Momo was illiterate, it would be whoever he's talking to do the writing at the time.
Or there's a mistake here, and it should say by the pens and what they write. That would make sense.
I think,
But I thought Allah only created one pen, one magical pen.
This could be a magical pen.
Yep. Could be a magical pen that has a twin that we don't know about. All right, verse 2. So we start off by a letter that we don't know what the hell it means. Somebody swears, actually, there is no I swear. It just says by the pen. It should be by the pen and what it writes or what it wrote, something like that. But anyway, so we got a singular and a plural. You, don't know who the you is, by the grace of your Lord are not a demon possessed. Man, what is the problem with Allah's prophets being accused of being demon possessed? I think we see a clear pattern here. In law, we would say a pattern of behavior. And they all seem to be demon possessed. And surely to you there will be an eternal wage. Okay. And surely you have great morals. Ain't talking about Muhammad, that's for sure. I don't call somebody sleeping with a 6-year-old. I'm sorry, marrying a 6-year-old and sleeping with her when she was 9 to be of great morals. So you will see, and they will see, which of you is the seditionist. I have no clue.
Now, this is where I don't think Allah knows what the word sedition means. I mean,
I don't think Allah knows what words
somebody
mean.
who works
Period.
from within to cause trouble.
All right, number 7. Surely your Lord, he knows best who went astray from his way. Of course he knows. He's the one that made him go astray. Why wouldn't he know? And he knows best he guided. Yeah, there you go. See, Allah's the one who made you go astray. So don't worry about it. So do not obey the deniers. They desire that you anoint. So they will anoint. And that makes no sense.
They desire that you anoint, not obey the deniers. They desire. So do not obey the deniers. They desire that you anoint, so they will anoint. Wow. That's just.
I mean, that's deep. That's deep. That's so deep that I don't understand it.
Do not obey the deniers. Why would you want to anoint anything? I mean,
I don't think Allah knows what.
is he talking about taking a whiz? They want you to anoint something with your whiz, so they'll do the same thing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's badly written. It's not clear. It's not in any ways better than mud. I feel sorry for anybody who finds something in here.
Let's move on to verse
10.
10 because Allah doesn't know what anoint means. And do not obey every shameful oath giver. Okay, why would they be shameful? All right. A despicable, going about with slander, a forbidder of the good, a transgressor, sinful, violent, after that a bastard. Whew. If he was with money and sons.
Okay, so
Okay.
stop there. We got a despicable guy going about he's bad mouthing someone who is with slander. This despicable guy is a forbidder of the good. He's a transgressor, a sinful guy, a violent guy. After that, a bastard. After what? After what? That's after. That's not the despicable person anymore. It's after that. After what? Yeah. It again. It's tiresome, is what it comes down to. Reading this garbage. It's like
I
the
don't
guy.
think
This is why I
Allah
keep saying the guy
knows.
has TBI. He can't communicate clearly. Now it's like he's got aphasia. Ah, this is bad.
Why is he calling the guy a bastard? Doesn't he know what a bastard means?
Violent after transgressful, sinful, violent after that a bastard. If he was with money and sons, I mean,
So if you're not with money and sons, you're not despicable, you're not slandering anybody, you're not forbidding the good, and you're not a transgressor, you're not sinful, you're not violent, and hell, you're not a bastard.
well,
So don't
after
have
that
any money and
bastard.
sons.
Well, I would think that money and sons. It just.
Notice
I
that
just think
Allah
that's
never mentions daughters. I don't think
yeah,
he
that's
likes
true.
daughters. Okay, when our verses are recited to him, meaning the despicable, slanderous, forbidder of good, transgressor, sinful, violent, bastard, if he was with money and sons, he said, the legends of the ancients, we
Yeah,
will brand him on the nostrils.
really, they're going to be okay. Okay,
Gonna put a
I
little hoop.
will. Okay, how many people want to be branded on the nose? It's just cartilage there. That's going to freaking hurt. Wow.
All right, surely we have tested them. But wait a minute, he's talking about one guy. So how did we go from a single guy to them?
We will
Surely
brand
we have.
him, and now we are testing them.
Yes.
Boy, Allah has some serious
I mean, he's
issues.
cursing the guy, and now he's talking about them. So we have tested them as we have tested the companions of the garden when they swore that they would cut its fruit in the morning. What the hell does that even mean?
We test them as we tested the companions of the garden, and then when they swore they would cut its fruit in the morning. Companions of the garden.
So
Well, so
these
we
people.
don't know who we don't know who Allah's testing. If he tested people, he's just not very clear who they are. We're talking about the companions of the garden. Okay, I'm surprised he didn't say where the rivers run underneath. When they swore they would cut its fruit, the garden's fruit. So they're picking fruit every morning.
Now
How
these
does
people
that have
are
to do with anything
supposedly,
we just read?
but I think these people are supposedly in heaven. And when they swore that they would cut its fruits in the morning,
So
and
he's
they did
testing
not,
people in heaven. That's
yeah,
another problem. They
and they
made it
did,
there. Now they're going through trials.
yeah. I thought the whole purpose was you already passed your tests. Now you got to
Yeah.
go to the garden, and we tested the
Well, that
companions.
fits with the Gnostic belief. You have to have special knowledge to get to a higher level of heaven, and that would have fit with the trials. So
And then 18, and they did not set aside a portion, so they were stingy in heaven. They're like, man, I ain't giving you a portion of my stuff. You go get your own. Then a visitation from your Lord encircled them. while they were asleep. So the garden, became like a harvested field. No freaking clue. So they called each other in the morning. Go early to your harvest. If you were binding, what does that even mean?
Binding what?
I have no clue.
I mean, if you're binding she's, they're not clear. I mean, we don't know what they're harvesting. This is a combination of common man language and stupidity. I mean, such a lack of clarity here is just mind-numbing how bad this is.
Okay, so now these people are in heaven. Okay, so they called each other in the morning, go early to your harvest. If you were binding, we don't know what that means. So they went and they were whispering. Okay, why were they whispering? So they were whispering that surely no poor will enter to you today. What does that mean?
Enter it to you today.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh.
that surely no poor will enter it to you today. What the hell?
So this is in heaven again. Yeah, people doing all this work. I mean, surely no poor will enter. Will enter what? But the grammar
Maybe,
here is just so bad.
maybe the tests are not in the garden, but these are just people that made to the garden. But again, it makes no sense. Okay, 25. And they went out at daybreak with this settled purpose. What purpose? To go out and collect and harvest the field? But I thought they went out in the morning. So when they saw it, they said, saw what? Surely we have gone astray. But wait a minute. If this is in heaven, how can you go astray? So I don't think this is in heaven, even though it talks about the garden.
Went out at daybreak.
They're the
Okay,
companions of the garden.
They went out in the morning, where they called each other in the morning, and they were supposed to go to the harvest. Okay, if you were binding. Okay, they went and they were whispering that surely no poor will enter, whatever it is, and then they decide they're not going out in the morning. They go out at daybreak, which still should be morning. I would think daybreak. No, daybreak might be the end of the day. Is daybreak the end of the day or the beginning of the day?
I'm going with the latter.
The end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
The break of the day.
Purpose. They saw it. Surely we have gone astray. Yeah, we are destitute. This is really bad written.
I mean, I have no clue what this is. Was this test before? Was this test before they became the companions of the garden?
I think it's still. I mean, because if we're staying on topic, which the Quran doesn't do very often, we are still talking to those people in heaven.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yet we are destitute. Okay, I mean, this looks like it belongs someplace else. Not what we were reading. All right, 28. The one in the middle of them said, "Have I not said to you, were it not that you had praised?" What does that even mean? Were it not that you had praised? That's an incomplete thought. They said, "Praise be to our Lord. Surely we were unjust."
Wait a minute. If they're unjust and they're in heaven, we got a problem.
And that's just it. We have no clue if they're in heaven or if these are the people that are the companions of the garden.
But they were supposed to be in heaven if that was the case.
I don't know.
Ugh.
Or maybe they were the companions of the people in the garden, but these are the infidels. I mean, I have no clue. But anyway, so they came to one another blaming. Okay, blaming what? They said, "Whoa, oh woe
Hey,
to
it's your
us."
fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. That's the only thing I can get out of it. But we don't know what we don't know what he did. But it's your fault.
They said, okay, 30, 31. They said, "Oh woe to us! Surely we were rebellious. Perhaps our
Wait a
Lord."
minute. Wait a minute. Why would you be saying Okay, it's your fault, and you're telling me it's my fault, and now we're saying, oh, it's our fault. We were rebellious. Oh, you don't usually blame someone else because they were rebellious.
Well, according to Andrew, it says even the scholars of Tafsir ibn Kathir don't know what the hell 6817 is talking about. So, I mean, if they don't know, then
But we're on
see,
31.
Yeah, but here's the problem. If the scholars don't know, then that's a problem for you Muslims. And then it goes, perhaps our Lord will exchange a better one than it for us. Exchange what?
This is again the God of perhaps. I mean, this is how many times does Allah say perhaps? I mean, it's too much. This
Yeah,
God
but
is
what is
too
he going
small.
to exchange?
I have no idea.
Surely we desire our Lord.
Why would
Likewise,
you desire this God? Because he's not clear. He doesn't make any sense.
I
It would
mean,
be one thing if he actually did. But
these verses
I've
don't.
read Buddhist books that make more sense than this.
These verses don't make sense. It's almost like that these verses are not from the same thoughts. All right, let's go to 33. Likewise is the torment, and the torment of the hereafter is bigger if they were knowing. Okay, again,
We know Allah likes
nonsensical.
torment, so that's the only thing that.
Yeah.
So we're getting back to Allah's favorite thing.
Surely to the fearing with their Lord are the gardens of bliss. Okay, shall we make the Muslims like the criminal?
Oh, wait a minute. That says something. Shall we make? I mean, think about that. If Allah has to ask that question, is there any difference?
We got Professor
Yaffle.
Yaffle. I have students who failed their assignments who write better than this.
Prof, you're 100% right on target.
That doesn't give me confidence in Allah.
If I had a student write this stuff, they would. Yeah, I'm sorry. I would. Nah, I don't think I've ever had. I mean, I've worked with some pretty severe learning disabilities, and I don't think I've ever had anyone write this bad.
All right, 36. What is the matter with you? I do believe the verse just simply says, what is with you? I don't know. How do you judge? I don't know. Or do you have a book in which you study? Wow. I don't study the Quran, please. Surely you have in it what you choose. What
Wait
you
a minute.
chose.
Are we able to pick and choose what we read
I have no
in the
Surely
Quran? Is
you
that what
have
this
in it
is?
what you choose. Have in what? Have in the book? Okay. Or do you have an oath against us that reaches to the resurrection day? None of this crap makes any sense. Surely you have whatever you judge. Okay. Ask them. Okay. Which of them will vouch for that? Vouch for what? Or do you have partners? Well, that depends. Does a wife count? Does a husband count? So let them come with their partners if they were truthful. I think maybe I don't know.
Why would you want to go to Allah, period?
Is this is this the
And definitely,
challenge?
why would you want to bring a partner, like a wife or a husband, after reading this? Ugh.
I'm wondering if this is the challenge that was made to the Christians when it says bring your wives and your children. And I'm thinking to myself, who are these Christians? Because if they were the monks and the priests, you're not going to ask a monk and a priest to bring his wife and his kids. Because, monks and oh, well, I mean, who knows? Maybe in the 7th century they did marry, which I doubt because by then the church was well established. Okay. Worshipping Allah with his shin bared will be impossible.
Ooh, Allah has a
A
shin.
day, the shin, now notice Usama put of Allah, will be made bare. and they will be called to worship. So they will not. So they will not be able. They won't be able
Not
to
be able to
worship
do
the
what?
shin. Man, that's a shame. The
Okay,
shin's
so the
going to
only
be
thing
all
they
by
were being
himself.
called to do was worship, and they can't worship because his shin is bare.
Hmm.
Whoa. Allah disrupts worship.
I'm
Did you
telling
catch that?
you. Yeah.
Allah stops worship. I
By
only know
bearing
of one being that's
by
goal is to
bearing
stop
his
there.
by bearing his hairy shin.
Okay, yep. Oh,
All right,
was he
43.
like Joe Biden? You know, he's got hairy legs.
Yeah, and it stands up when the kids play with it.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, their eyes will be downcast. Humiliation will seize them, and indeed, they were called to worship when they were safe. Makes no clue. I mean, makes no clue of what they're talking about. Makes no clue, no clue, no
Downcast
clue.
humiliation will seize them when they.
So leave me, who denies the saying.
I'm denying it. It makes no sense. I'm
Leave,
leaving. I already left.
leave
You
who?
lost me.
We will gradually draw them from where they do not know. What? Allah likes to draw cartoons?
Stop. Allah, okay, we're gonna draw. Yeah, I thought Allah had a problem with cartoons. Gets upset when people draw
In
him or Muhammad. I don't know. Yeah,
45, and I will wait on them. Surely my scheme is firm. So, wait a minute. Allah is waiting? I mean,
surely my scheme is for.
this is
Well,
sad.
Allah apparently has to. He's more physical than people think. If he has to wait on people, wow,
46.
Allah is scheming.
Who's he? Who's he? Is he talking to Muhammad? Asking him, or do you ask a wage from them so that they are burdened with a debt? Or do they have the unseen so they can write?
Why would
What?
that doesn't okay? That doesn't make any sense.
Now we
Do they
go
have
from the nonsensical, it doesn't make sense, to this is more about the story of Jonah. I mean, I'm telling you, it looks like somebody just took a pile of crap and just threw it all over the place. So be patient with the judgment of your Lord and do not be like the companion of the whale. What is number 3? Jonah. I mean, why couldn't Allah just say Jonah?
because I don't think Allah knew his name.
I
He's
guess
a
not.
little god.
When he called and he was distressed, when he called what? Were it
He's a
not?
companion of a whale. Why does he need Allah's help?
I know. Were it not that a grace from his Lord reached him, he would be cast on the naked ground while he is blamed. But he was cast out. So his Lord chose him, so he made him of the good. And those who became infidels would almost smite you with their eyes when they heard the reminder. Okay. And they say, surely he is demon possessed. See, I'm telling you.
Yeah, you
And
know what? Anybody who communicates this way, I think they need serious mental health issue help. You know, they might have some mental diagnosis of this. These are the ramblings of somebody. Like I keep saying, the person. We obviously know that the person has Arabic as a second or third or fourth language. We've seen the person who writes this is chronologically impaired. And as I have said before, these ramblings communicate to me that someone's been hit in the head one too many times and may have traumatic brain injury.
I agree with Andrew. Mo was
Yeah,
demon possessed. I think
ramblings to
Allah
a
is.
demonically possessed.
I
If
think
that's the
Allah
other
is also.
possibility,
Yeah.
if you're not making sense, yeah, it's a possibility. It's just messed up. It's just God.
And it is not but a reminder to the world. It what? What in this chapter
It didn't make
is
any
there,
sense. This is just a mess.
is there a reminder?
It's just bad. It's bad enough that
Well,
nobody should have to rewrite. Well, don't read this again, please.
thank God, because we're finished.
Oh
Let's
my
go
god.
to the catastrophe. Yeah, this is the
Oh,
Quran.
wait. This could be worse. Oh my gosh, this could be worse.
Oh man. All right, let me get myself
Oh,
situated
wait
here.
a minute. Okay, this is going to be something. We've only had one other chapter where the first word, the name of the chapter, is in the first verse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the chapter 69, the catastrophe. The catastrophe. What is the catastrophe? I don't know. And what do you know? What the catastrophe is? I don't know. Thamud and Ad denied the calamity.
We don't know what the calamity is either.
I don't know. Okay.
You
So
know
as
what?
for
Allah never answers his own question.
oh, he's all over the place here. So as for Thamud, so they were destroyed with the rebellion. Okay.
We
And
still
as
don't know what
for
the catastrophe
Ad,
was.
they were destroyed with a roaring, violent wind. I think Allah farted. He made it subservient against them continuously for 7 nights and 8 days. Oh
Okay, we have a
man,
problem here. If
7 nights and
wind
eight
is
days.
subservient against them,
Yeah, for 7 nights and 8 days.
but
Now
the problem
see,
is the word subservient.
yeah. So
If
see,
you're
Allah
if
is
you're
very.
serving somebody, you are not against them.
But
I
see,
don't think Allah
I,
understands it.
I gotta
Understands
give
that.
Allah. I gotta give Allah some credit. He's very precise in this one. 7 nights and 8 days. Okay. It didn't say 7 nights and maybe 8 days, or 7 nights and maybe 7 days. No, he said it was for 7 days, 7 nights and 8 days. So that means the wind started in the night. So you see the people falling in it as if they were the trunks of a hollow palm trees. Okay,
What are we even talking about?
how could you see the people falling? He's talking
Okay.
to people that didn't live during the time of Ad, which by the way, nobody knows who these people are because we haven't been able to find a city called Ad or a city called
People
Thamud.
falling in it.
So
In
did you see if any of them were left? Why is he
wait a
asking?
minute. Okay, Odd has this violent wind, which is way before. It's before Noah, correct? And how are we supposed to? Yeah, how are we supposed to see trunks? I guess they're just saying tons of people laying down dead is what it sounds like, and this is their attempt to describe it of palm trees laying dead. Oh my
See,
gosh!
I got a problem when Allah asks people in the present if they saw what happened in the past. No,
Yeah,
I did.
chronological impairment. I keep
I
saying
did.
it.
Yeah, I did not see if the people fell like hollow palm trees. I have no clue. But anyway, it gets better. Notice that
Wait
Muhammad
a minute. Okay, palm trees, are those in the desert?
maybe in an oasis, but I don't think there's many palm trees in the desert.
Hmm.
I don't think this is definitely not Mecca. Okay, notice that Muhammad confused Pharaoh with Noah. Why are we surprised? And okay, let me see. What is number one? Meaningless word. Okay, that's the name of the cities of Lot. Okay.
Mutafika.
And Pharaoh came to those before him in Mutafika with sins. Okay, with sin. Now nobody knows what Mutafika.
We have another statement of clear Quran, clear as mud.
Now, Osama says that scholars mistakenly call this the cities of Lot, like Lot had cities. Okay, so they disobeyed the messenger of their Lord. Wait a minute. Pharaoh is a messenger of Allah? No wonder Osama says Muhammad confused Pharaoh with Noah. Noah is a is a messenger. But in verse 9, Pharaoh is a messenger.
Wait, Muhammad confused Pharaoh with Noah. Okay, Pharaoh comes before Mutafika. Him and Mutafika was sin. This is really bizarre. Okay.
And what's even worse is if this is Pharaoh and Osama is saying that Mutafika means the cities of Lot, there were no cities of Lot, they were destroyed. And okay, I mean, this is really good. But Pharaoh apparently is a messenger. So they disobeyed the messenger of their Lord. So he seized them with a severe overtaking. I don't know what that means. Okay. Surely when the water rebelled, we carried you in the floating ship.
Okay, I want to know how water rebels.
I don't
Now,
know.
is water able to think? Because if water is able to think, we have another serious issue here. I mean, this is just saying that inanimate objects now have brains.
Could be.
All I can think is this is mentioning, maybe describing a violent. If you got boats out there, a violent water.
I think he's describing the drowning of Pharaoh and his army. But I
Okay,
was just very confused.
Alice just he's messed up in the
Now,
head.
why Osama puts and we carried you in the floating ship. Okay. Okay, verse 12. So we made it for you as a reminder, and that the attentive ear may comprehend it. Okay. So we made it for you as a made what as a reminder. The the water that rebelled.
This is so bad.
I mean, this is some really, really, really bad water. Okay. So when the trumpet blew, one blowing.
Oh wait, that's too much. One blow.
Oh, that's right. And the earth and the mountains are carried. So they were crushed with one crush. Gotta throw in some sound
So
effects.
you crush a mountain. That means the mountain doesn't exist
So who
anymore.
carried the mountains? Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. So the earth is going to be crushed? Wow. So the earth
Then
and
would
the
say those
mountains.
stabilizers, the concept of stabilizers didn't work.
Yeah, but the earth is going to be crushed with the mountains. Wow. That's some serious crap going on here. So on that day, the event will come to pass. Okay. So I guess on the day of judgment, the earth and the mountains are going to get carried, and they're going to be crushed with one crush. And the heavens will be torn. Okay, excuse me. How do you tear space, which is not a material thing? So on that day, it will be frail. What? It's kind of like a linen that's old. And the angels will be on its sides. What sides? And 8 will carry the throne of the Lord above them on that day.
Wait a minute. Do you think the angels are really that strong that they can carry this throne? That
Oh,
this
because
guy,
you don't
this
understand.
God Allah has a huge butt, from what I understand.
These angels, the distance between their one of their earlobes and whatever is like 800 miles wide. So these are big dudes. Because remember,
Yeah, these gotta be
the
crazy.
sun goes under Allah's throne at night. So that's a huge ass. On that day, you will be paraded. Nothing hidden will be hidden from you. Okay. So as for who will
It's
be
getting
given the
worse.
book. All right, so I guess this is now we're talking about the day of judgment. Okay, you're going to be paraded in front of Allah on his throne. So as for who will be given the book in his right hand, so he will say, "Take, you read my book, because I'm like
I
Muhammad.
don't want to.
I can't read. Please don't have Jabril squeeze me. Surely I thought that I would meet my reckoning." Okay. So he is in a pleasing life, in a lofty garden. Its fruit is near. That doesn't make sense. What does that have to do with take, you read my book? Okay. All right. Eat and drink pleasantly because of what you have done in the empty days. What do you mean the empty days? What the hell is that? And as for him who is given the book in his left hand, ooh, left hand, that's the one you wipe your ass if you're Muslim. So he will say, "Oh, I wish that my book had never been given to me." So one guy says, "Hey, you take the book and read my book." The other guy says, "Hey, don't give me this crap."
It
And
sounds like me. I'm having a hard enough time with this. This is crazy. It
I
doesn't
did
make
not
any
know
sense.
of my reckoning. Oh, I wish that it was the end of me. Now, don't worry, you're going to get your wish. My money has not profited me. Well, you didn't loan Allah a loan so he could double it. That is your fault. My authority has perished from me. Take him, so chain him, then roast him in hell, then cast him into a chain whose length is 70 cubits. Now, if you read the tafsirs,
Okay,
that
wait.
chain,
Okay, so let's just make it a sense. Okay, you chain him, you roast him in hell, then you cast him in. You got more chain now, whose length is 70 cubits. All right,
oh,
so
but here's the backdrop on this 70 cubics. Apparently, this is 70 cubics. Each length is made up from all the iron on the earth. Now get that. So you're going to be lucky, because guess what? It's only going to be one link, because one link has all the iron in the earth. So what are the other links going to be made from? Hey, this is going to be shoved up your butts until it comes out of your mouths. And if there's any left, it's going to be wrapped around your neck. You see
now
how
where are you
nice
getting
Allah
that
is?
from?
I'm sorry.
Where are you getting that part from?
Oh, that's from the hadith.
Okay,
No, I'm sorry. No, that's from the tafsirs.
wow.
If you read the tafsir here, let me go to. Let me see. Quran. What chapter are we on?
69,
Chapter 69, and what verse?
30. Well, starting in 30.
All right. Okay. You can't use that. You gotta use the period. Uh,
This is just crazy. Take him, chain him, then roast him in hell, then cast him in with a chain whose
uh,
length is 70 cubits.
we gotta go to 32. 32 is the one.
32 is the one with 70 cubits. Yeah.
Here we go. According to Ibn Abbas, it says, "And insert him in a chain. Insert the chain in his anus and extract it
Oh,
from his mouth. And what remains of it, turn it round his neck. Wherefore the length and width is 70 cubits of the angel. And it is also said this means 70 uh, fathoms." Okay.
wow.
Jalalain says, "Then in the chain whose length is 70 cubits, each cubit being that of an angel's forearm." God, I hope he's got skinny forearms. "Insert him after admitting him into the fire does not prevent the verb from being semantically connected to the preceding adverbial clause." Okay, whatever. Let me see. What does? Oh, here we go. Ibn Jalalain. I'm sorry. Ibn Kathir is also recording from Ibn Abbas.
I don't know
Then
if you saw what Andrew Martin said. He said it's Mo's revenge fantasy for the leader of
yeah.
his tribe.
So Ibn Kathir goes, then fasten him in the chain, whereas the length is 70 cubics. Kab al-Ahab said, every ring will be. So here's the funny thing: every ring of it will be equal to the entire amount of iron found in this world. Hello, you dummy. That means it'll only be one ring. If you use all the iron that's in this world, then what are the other rings going to be made of?
Air? I don't know.
And this is going to be the length. Each cubit will be the length of the forearm of an angel. And then it says, Ibn Abbas said, it will be entered into his buttocks and pulled out of his mouth, and then they will be arranged on this chain like the locusts are arranged
And
on the
again,
stick.
this is, I like Andrew Martin's statement that this is Mo's revenge
And you're
fantasy for the leader of his tribe.
going to be roasted. Al-Afi reported that Ibn Abbas, that he said it will be ran into his behind until it is brought out of his two nostrils.
Wow.
So he will not be okay, wait a minute. How can it be brought out of? That means the ring would have to split in two. So he will not be able to stand on his 2 feet. Ahmad Ahmed recorded from Abdul bin Ahmad that the
Hey,
messenger
you're
of Allah
breaking
said,
up. You're breaking up. It's getting worse.
right,
Just letting you know.
what is going on today?
Yeah.
All
Mike's
right,
breaking up a little bit more.
so that's the backdrop of verse 32.
Yeah.
Surely he was not a believer in the great Allah. Okay? And he was not careful to feed the poor. Okay? You better feed the poor or you know what's going to happen to you. So today he will not have a hammam in here, nor food except for Islam, which is number 2. A word without a meaning. Okay, so we don't know what that means. But he's going to have it. Don't worry, he's going to have it. Which none will eat
No food.
except the
No
sinners.
food except for something imaginary or
Yes.
whatever.
None which will eat except the sinners. So if you're a sinner, you're going to eat something that nobody knows what it is, but you're going to eat it. So I will not swear by what you see and by what you do not see. Surely it is the speech of a generous messenger. What is the speech of the messenger? The Quran?
This isn't generous at all. It's driving me nuts. It actually, we keep talking about killing brain cells. If you actually learn something from this, besides that the Quran is clear as mud, I think you've already killed your brain cells.
Well, the fact that Allah did not kill Muhammad is proof that his words were the Lord's.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is it not true that Muhammad said, if I'm a false prophet, Allah will rip out my aorta? And what did he say when he was dying? It feels like Allah is ripping out my aorta. So if Allah killed him,
Well, technically, it's cutting his aorta, not ripping it. Don't want the Muslims to say that we're misconstruing what the Hadith says
yeah,
or what the Quran says.
we do know that a Jewish woman is responsible for Muhammad's death, that Allah wasn't able to protect Muhammad from this poison. Yes.
Well, come on, he did warn him after he took a bite that it was poisoned.
But he wasn't aware that it was poison until somebody else got sick.
Yeah. And then the leg of lamb told him, hey, by the way, I'm poisoned. Okay, and it is not the saying of a poet, little is what you believe, and it is not the saying of a soothsayer, little is what you remember. A descending from the Lord of the worlds, none of this crap makes sense. And if he hath forged some words against us, who's us? Allah is an us. Yes, Allah is an us. Then we would have taken
that's
him.
Mo and that's the marriage of Mo and Allah.
Yeah. Then we would have taken him by the right hand. And we would have cut the jugular vein out of him. So none of you could have restrained him. I guess you wouldn't be able to restrain Allah from cutting the jugular vein out. And surely this is a reminder to the fear of, and surely we know that some among you are deniers. And surely it is a regret on the infidel. And surely it is the certain truth. So praise in the name of your great Lord.
Wow.
All ham due to Allah.
This is just a mess. I mean, I'll say this. If you've been listening today and you are a follower of Islam or a lover of Sharia, you got to seriously ask yourself questions. How, if this is the Quran and it makes no sense, and this is considered scripture, some serious issues here. Yeah, brain cells are gone. You've lost some valuable time listening to this garbage. I'm sorry, it is garbage because it's nonsensical. You couldn't sell this to a child. They wouldn't like it. I mean,
could you imagine if this was like a reading assignment for, let's say for a class? This would be a good book to give out to people to read if you want to torture them.
Oh, that's where we get. Okay, so this is Allah's torture. He gives
Yes.
out this book for people to read. This is one of his sick pleasures. He likes torture, so that's what it was. He gave it to his people to read, so he can enjoy torturing them.
Yeah, and I think we're going to call it. We'll stop here and we'll pick up in chapter 70 tomorrow.
Well, Professor, it says if we knew Arabic, it would all make sense. No, this is an exact translation, is what we've just, we've actually come to it. It's a kinder translation. And you know what? This is the thing. They don't want people who speak Arabic to know. I mean, they don't want people to read the Quran in anything but Arabics. So more people who would read it would leave. That's why they tell you can't read it unless it's in Arabic.
But if you recite it, ladies and gentlemen, it sounds so nice. It probably will put you to sleep. So if you've got a headache, listen to the Quran in Arabic. And if you want a headache, read it in Arabic and understand it. Or read it in English and get a headache.
Yeah,
yes, Professor, we know you were being sarcastic. I mean, after reading this, you don't have a choice. This is like, like I said, if you're constipated, read this book while you're in the toilet. Guaranteed that it will take care of your constipation. You'll be laughing so hard that
if you have too much pressure in your head, don't read this book because it'll get worse.
I know, Dragon. I have no clue what's going on today with my mic. I mean, I'm not even using the computer mic anymore. I'm using my handy dandy, very nice get up and go. But it ain't getting up and going. But anyway, since we're almost done, I guess you don't have to listen to my crackle. I hope tomorrow this thing doesn't crackle.
Find out. Sometimes it's just a connection. You never know.
I mean, it could be because it's never done this before. And last couple shows, I've been using the built-in mic from the computer. I don't have any echo or anything. So yeah,
it worked and then it didn't work. So we can't tell what it is. It's not consistent.
If you move it up to the next chapter, so that way it'll be saved.
Yeah, I will. Oh, thank you. I will do that.
Yeah.
All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
is the way of ascent.
Yes, we are going to pick up on chapter 70. So you know what that means? We're only 44 chapters away. I think, like I said, I think we might finish at the end of this month.
Oh, thank God.
These chapters are getting smaller and smaller.
We'll have to figure something else to do because this is a good way to spend time, but it's just kind of mind numbing that I mean, to be honest, I never thought it would be this bad. I never thought it would be this bad. Oh my gosh.
I was even thinking.
Now I understand more of why every time I tried to pick it up, I put it down because it never made any sense. Because it doesn't make any sense.
Hey, Ed, good to see you. I was even thinking of doing a marathon tomorrow and finish this sucker tomorrow, but
Nah, 2
I don't want
hours.
to kill my brain cells. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we will pick up tomorrow. Tomorrow's at 6 o'clock. Maybe I'll do one at 3. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get my exit video. All right, so let's do our exit. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely something with the connection today. Could be the
Yeah,
bad
I think
weather.
it's a connection from what we just saw.
Yeah, because
So it's not the
I mean,
mic, it's the connection.
but I'm not getting the signal from StreamYard saying that I have a poor connection. Which is not
No,
really.
I think this is I think it's the whatever. Yeah, it's bad, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I think sometimes I don't know. Sometimes you leave and you come back, it's better. I don't know what else to say.
yeah,
Hey, you have a
definitely.
great night, everybody.
All right, you guys have a good one. All right, let's end the show. See you guys tomorrow.
Yep.